Hi, welcome once again, cherished souls. How are you? Thank you for joining Building Lives 101, where we're going back to spirituality, the basic principles of spirituality. Now, once you can get a hold of that, wow. I mean, it sounds like it sounds so basic, the basic spirit, when you say that, it sounds so, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, like, like you're in kindergarten or something like that, but it's so far from the truth, from what it sounds like. Absolutely not. The just going back to the basics is so powerful. It's unbelievable. Um, because we've left that. This is why we're in so much of this mess. In a way, I felt like we needed to do that so that we learn some from fundamentals of what is good and wrong, bad and evil, um, love, hate. Um, we needed to experience that. Okay, so thank you for coming, and I'm going to just take this moment to thank all my 6 wonderful subscribers, and I hope you join me back. And that makes me, it warms my heart and makes me feel so good. And for those of you who stop in and view, I so appreciate you. Now, I've been saying to some people, please, if you do like the video or subscribe, it would be better if you subscribe. I am planning on giving, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. So it's not overwhelming for me in postage, or whether you just pay for postage or something like that. But I want to give away these crystal jewelries. Well, I'm already at 6 subscribers. I was going to say originally 10 subscribers, the first 10 subscribers or something to that effect. I'm not exactly sure or what, but also I'm going to be doing some t-shirts, and instead of just asking people for donations, I want to be able to offer something, and in buying it, it will be that contribution to help, because when I'm, for some of you who have um, come in, listen in on a few times, I am in the process of raising some money to get my mouth fixed. So you can see my full face instead of just my eyes. I know how cruel people can be, and that's why I'm protecting myself from the harshness of people's hearts. Okay, so anyway, so please, if you subscribe, that will be a really good thing. And not only that, if you're subscribed, we're sharing in this. We're sharing this in this process of making this shift, which is the topic that I'm actually talking. Ooh, hold on, my dog here. Oh, hey, Zoe, come on, sweetie. Not right now, okay? Okay. I think she'll calm down. Oh no, Zoe. Hold on, Susie. Oh, come on, baby. Not right now, okay? All right. Okay. So the Great Awakening and unveiling the shif and its transform trans, transformation, not just in the world, but also with us. All of us are shifting. Okay? In fact, we're shifting continuously. Zoe, no, baby. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Not right now, okay? Okay. Oh, she's looking at me. Okay, so I'm sorry. Excuse me. That's why sometimes I record in my car. Anyway, so this Great Awakening, this is not the first Great Awakening that we've had. There have been a Great Awakening, what is it, 1730. It was actually 1730. Zoe! Okay. Zoe, no, baby. The funny thing is that I have like a ton of these bottles. Zoe, no. I'm so sorry. Not right now, baby, please. No. Come here, come here, come. Come here. Okay. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. So the first Great Awakening, as they put it, happened in 1770 all the way to 1730 all the way to 1755, and this mostly happened between the Presbyterian and the Baptists. I was doing some kind of research and I came across this years ago, and I was like, it was a Great Awakening, and it went through. There was more information on this, and it's just amazing how history kind of repeats itself. This time it's a little different. It was kind of almost the same, but it wasn't just spiritually. But a lot of things happened during that time. But I could have sworn there was also another awakening in the 1900s as well. So I'm not sure. So I think there was actually a couple of other Great Awakenings, if I remember correctly. If somebody knows this, you can, a lot of this stuff I've researched it years ago, 2009, all the way back there. And so a lot of this information that people are coming out with now, the people are just now awakening, and it's not bad to actually hear this information again, because I really believe that we need to hear it again, even though sometimes it's kind of like, well, we told you so. This is old news for a lot of other people, but it is actually really new news for a lot of people. If you can think about the amount of people that actually woke up or actually know this, a lot of information that are coming out now, is a small amount compared to the amount of people who still don't know this information. So a lot of people still need to wake up, okay, and not just spiritually. And when I used to talk about a lot of the stuff, I used to mention that there's two kinds of awakening. There are people who are waking up to the political injustice, to the political war, to the crimes of our government, okay? Make no mistake, there is a crime, massive crime to humanity that has been committed from all these governments. And I'm sure a lot of them are thinking, they know it, but I'm sure in their mind they're going, well, who's going to do anything about it? Who's going to do anything about it? And the people that can do something about it are the white people, the Caucasians. They're the ones that can do something about it. Because when their voice when they start raising their voice, then it's a different story. And that's why they had to separate us. They had to put boundaries between the regular regular white people, if you want to put it that way, and the black people. They had to separate them because the people who are in charge, they have a certain bloodline that is, they consider different from everybody else, which there probably is in a way, which I don't want to get into right now. So because we have these Caucasian that looks like them, they kind of just say, okay, I will give them favors, which something I've talked about. I hear other people talking about it now, and this is old news. But this is not where I want to go. But I'm mentioning that just to touch on the awakening. So some people are awakening to certain political things, certain, things of history, and not only that, too, certain laws, like driving without a license, that you don't need really need a license, about our economical system, and our social security number and all this kind of stuff. I found out about this actually, a lot of the stuff in 2000. Oh gosh, I don't know. I want to say 15 or 16, somewhere around there. And I still don't have a total grip on the, because it's not my main focus, and so anyway, so there is a shift about society and at whole, okay, and what's going on in society, all the corruptions, the pedophiles, the trafficking, and people are getting exposed to all the evil that's been going on in the world. And so that is one type of awakening. And then the other awakening, it is spiritual. So I believe that they're awakening people by actually telling them the truth about society, to overshadow the true spiritual awakening that is occurring. Okay, and that's right now the topic that I'm bringing up is it's talking about the process. Okay, the process of what is actually going on spiritually and how we can maintain our course and keep shifting. Okay, now I remember I can't remember if it was before or after a situation happened with my dog, but I'm just going to tell the story. Whether you believe it or not, that's fine. Okay, I would not be a spiritual person if I am sitting here lying to you. Okay, if I'm sitting here lying to you, I could not be a spiritual person, because lying is like a cancerous thing to someone who is spiritual. It is something you just don't do. Okay, so whether you believe me or not, that is up to you. I don't really care. Okay, what I'm sharing with you is my personal experience. Okay, so there is one night, I had these two gentlemen that was staying with me, um, roommates, if you want to put it that way, at the time. And I from the synagogue, and they one was in his room, and the other one was sitting on the computer, and you know, and I actually had went to bed. I had went to bed, and I kept on hearing a barking. I'm trying not to make this very long, but I kept on hearing a bark, like, a dog barking, and it was kind of annoying. I was like, oh my gosh. So I got up and I realized that, because I thought my dog was actually in the room when I got up, he would normally get up with me, and I didn't see him. And he's not in the room, and he's not outside. When I walked out into the great room area, he wasn't there. So I'm like, oh, where is he? So I asked my roommates. They don't know where he is. So I looked through all the rooms, and he's not there. He's not in my room. He's not in the. He's not anywhere. I look in the backyard. He's not in the backyard. Side of the house, everywhere I looked, and he's not there. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I went back in the room, and we're talking, and I'm like, oh my God, this is really weird. Where is he? So normally when I go to bed, he comes in with me, and I could have sworn that I brought him in with me, because I always bring him into the room, and he sleeps on his bed on the floor, So I could have sworn I brought him in. Nowhere to be found. So I keep hearing this barking, and finally I thought, let me look outside. So I opened the door. I didn't see him. So I went outside, and I looked. Then I saw him coming from around the corner from the gates, because we were outside. So he was probably barking at the door, at the fence. So I went there, and I looked, and I checked to see if it was open, like maybe he was outside or something. There's no way he could have gotten out. Everything was all locked up. He did not get out. And I'm wondering, did one of my roommates put him out? I don't think they would have done that. I don't know. It was just really weird. But I'm almost positive but they were baffled too. Again, one of them was in his room sleeping. The other one was sitting on the computer. And I had not too long just went to lay down. So that was really weird. And my friend goes like this, because we're all spiritual. And he went, oh my God, we just experienced a shif. And I went, oh my gosh. And those things happen during, sometimes when you're shifting, okay? When there's a shift. It's kind of like a glitch in the matrix, if you want to put it that way. And, certain things are like out of place. Like say for instance, and then I was told that, be mindful of signs. I mean, when it like signs, trees and things and houses and things like that. Like say for instance, if you're going down the street and you know that, like that house wasn't there, or a tree or something, and then all of a sudden one day there's this tree there, and you're like, what? Some people would say, I could have I've never seen that tree there before, because you probably never saw that tree there before. You probably shifted, okay? So one experience is like the Mandela effect, okay? A Mandela effect, where everybody said there's Mandela, and I think there was somebody else who that happened to. Those are shifts in a timeline. Okay, so I'm saying this so that you can recognize these things. And sometimes they're just as little as, you put something down on the counter, and then you walked away or whatever, and then you're like, I know I put it there. I just put that there. Where is it? And then sometimes you never find it, or sometimes you will find it somewhere else that you're like, I have no idea how that got there. Okay? And sometimes it will pop back up. Like, I know I left it there. I know I left it there. I know I looked there. That's what I meant to say. And it wasn't there before. Give you another example. And thank God I have witnessed to some of these experience. Um, I worked in doing stock, and I had a cart ready with groceries to put out on the floor. I just pulled it out of the line. I was going to put it out, and I was just getting some stuff. It needed a new bag, and I was getting ready to, to go out on the floor. And I went to get a bag, and I came back, and the cart was gone. And just as I did that, my friend one of the coworker came in and go, what are you looking for? I guess I had a cart right here. I was just about ready to go out, and it's not there. And he goes, is this? I goes, no, it was right here. I moved it out to go out. Oh dear, now she's gonna make noise. And it is not there. And we're looking for it. So he walked out, and I kept on. I got another. I didn't pull the card out, but I kind of pulled it out a little bit because I was getting ready to. I was going to pull that one out, and then he came back. He came back, and I saw him as he was coming back, and he pointed and he goes, "Is that your card?" While he's coming in, he goes, "Is that it?" And I turned around to look at it, and we both walked over at the same time. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, you saw that, right? I'm telling you, this was not here. It was not there. That cart was not there. So those are examples. Another example is my aunts, my whole family, swear that where we live now, that they had a birthday party for my cousin. They had, this is while my mom was still alive, and they had a big party with, those big blow up, slides and stuff like that in the backyard, and we had a bunch of friends. That's what they said. I had a bunch of friends over, and that I was there. And I'm like, no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. That, I have no memory whatsoever of that experience, that event whatsoever. I'm like, no, I didn't. And they are convinced that I was there. And I probably was. I stopped arguing with them because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I probably was. But that wasn't, that wasn't me, me. I was, interesting, huh? Interesting, huh? So, yeah. So, I have no recollection of this. None whatsoever. Normally, when something like that happens, and when they keep on telling me in detail, I'll go, oh yeah, okay. And then, something will come back. But nothing. Zilch. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing. So, it's kind of like also, I have a story about when I went to hairdressing school, and I finished the school. The only thing I didn't do was went and took the state test, and there's something attached to that. I got discouraged, and I didn't bother, and but I had finished the whole thing, and according to my cousin, I never finished. And that the lady kept on calling and saying where I was and all this kind of stuff, and I'm like, what? because I was even looking for work because I had passed the school test, everything. I started passed the school test, and I was finished with the class. I graduated. The only thing I needed to do was take the state test. So I started looking for job or work as a shampoo person. Until I get my license so I can work up. And what I experienced was a little bit of racism. I wasn't being accepted at any of these places whatsoever. None. None whatsoever. None. Wasn't being hired. Totally qualified. As being and anyway. So, at the time, and later on, my mom opened a salon, but then I had really no interest in becoming a hairstylist, and so she, um, you know, but yeah. Anyway, so. But anyway, we have two different recollection of that event with me with going to school and stuff like that. So, anyway, so, um, so the shifts, as we go through this process, we're going to experience, and some of you might have experienced little things like that already, that you're going to see yourself going in and out of timelines, okay? And sometimes that all depends. Like one moment you could be like really, really spiritual. You're feeling, a lot of love and things like that. And good things start to happen. And something happens and then bring your frequency down. And then now you went through another shift. And, so these things you have to be mindful. If you're mindful of it, you'll start to realize that you're shifting back and forth a lot of the time. Now the goal for us is to be consistent. This is why we cannot allow a lot of these things to distract us. And that's what the human soul is good at, is keeping a certain rhythm, is keeping a certain vibration. That's the goal, is to keep your vibration. Okay, I think I once said, if you guys have heard some of my video about Mother Earth, that we're gods and we're shifting. The goal is for us to, as we go through our different evolutions, from whether it's an animal, a plant, or whatever, a stone, and what's into humans, and we may spend many lifetimes as humans, because that's a long, and then you go into and also different beings as well, and then you go through a series where you are now planet. You are a planet, like Mother Earth is a planet, and when you get to that point where you can maintain your frequency to maintain a planet, that's not easy. You have reached godhood, really. The gods of God, to become all, part of the gods of gods. Because it's not easy. And that is our journey of expanding and developing our ability to maintain our to utilize our power in when you're trying to say something and it's out of this world and you just can't get the words together to explain it. I hope some of you follow me in what I'm saying. I know sometimes I come with stuff that may not be, but I feel like I need to come out and say some of this because I think some people are probably on that level, even though I'm saying this is basic instruction. Okay. Does anybody get what I'm saying? I hope you do. Because I've mentioned that before about the planet. So our goal, and that's why I'm saying, guys, we got to get away from, I look at TikTok and Facebook, and I guess maybe we need to focus on that. But there's a part of me that's going, guys, hey, stop focusing and trying to get people, white people, to accept you, white people to acknowledge who you are. Forget that. Know who you are and be who you are. That's the most important thing. Know who you are and start being who you are. Become the love. What does the Bible say? That if you move away from God, he doesn't really move. He moves away from you. His favor moves away from you. And it's not that he's moving away from you. It's you're moving away from him. You're moving out of God's favor. The one most high favor. You have moved out. I've mentioned about your consciousness, your soul, that your soul kind of step away. When you're going through all this craziness and hate, your soul can't deal with that. Okay? So it steps away and allow you to, until you get to the point where you start to come back. And once you come back, then now your soul can give you and the gifts of all that it is. So, guys, you cannot expect to step into the role of the chosen people or the 144,000 if you are not doing the things, if you are not returning to God's love, if you're not returning. And it's not about hate. It's not about, I hear a lot of stuff. White people are so afraid that black people are going to do, and people are quoting scripture that we will make them slave and all this kind of stuff. Nothing in the Bible is written in stone. Believe me when I tell you that I know that with all bottom of my heart that nothing is written in stone, is that it's up to us. We can change it. We can change everything. We can change everything that's going on right now. But we have to change our mindset. We have to change. If we start focusing, wherever we focus on, that's where the energy is going to go. And they have become very good at getting us with our emotions to focus on the things that they want us to focus on. We have to start focusing on us. We have to start focusing on love. We have to start focusing on unity. We have to start focusing on building a community of love. Just like the way that you guys did in, whatchamacallit there. Like that town that they burned. Have your own hospital. Have your own doctors. Have your schools. Just like how the Jewish people have. I know they got a lot of money to help them. Okay? But if the white people, all this stuff and these rules that are going on. Okay, I didn't even want to go. There's a lot more that I want to say, but I don't want to go there right now. But guys, once you acknowledge that this is a great awakening, spiritually, that's really what's going on. This is a spiritual awakening. And there is a shift that's going on. Okay? There's a shift that's going on. And it's not just the shift like, okay, some people might be thinking, okay, now it's the time for black people to become in charge, black people to become the rulers or something like that. Okay? No. It's the shift for us now, because as people, as stewards of peace, love, priesthood, it's for us to now embody love and grace. And like I've said before, all of us play a part. All of us play a part. No one is better than the other. I'm not going to lie that and say that we are not different in certain ways, not just the color aspect, but we're also different a little bit in spirituality. Yes, we are. Okay? However, we all play a unique role. And if we know our roles and put it together, if we're honest enough, without anybody getting bent out of shape or feeling like, okay, well, you're trying to be superior. And that's what's going on. There's like a battle, you know, we're getting stuck on who's more superior than the other, who's got more power than the other. And that's not what it should be about. Because even if, okay, say people of color is more spiritual and women, okay, women are more spiritual than men. Even though for years it's been put that men are supposed to be the teachers, but don't forget, God is going to speak to anyone. I noticed that, and I wonder why, God is, some people, say, they're white and God is speaking to them and whatever, in case like that. And in some cases it's true, some cases maybe not, whatever. You have those false prophets. But nevertheless, God is going to raise up, the One Most High is going to raise up anyone that is open for him to speak through, and for him to, for God to get the message out. Anyone. Okay? Because we're all God. We're all a part of God. Because a lot of people of color are still asleep, even though they think they're awake, because they know some stuff about history and they know some stuff about this. But that's not where they should be focusing on. What they really should be focusing on is their spirituality. You know that. Forget about that. Stop trying to convince the world. That all will fall into place. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all will be added unto you. That is not a lie. So if you just start to focus on God, everything, because when you focus on that, all that your desire will just come. It will just almost be handed to you. And I can't express that how much or how important, how vital you are to this process. Now, some people will probably listen to this and say, oh, she's focusing on black people, because there is a very important process in this. And not all black people is a chosen people, and not all black people is 144,000. Yes, I understand that. But the majority of them are. And they need to wake up. Okay, I don't want to make this video too long. So, guys, there's a process here. And it's not easy. And I'm going to talk about something that has to do with our food and not eating, fasting. But it's not even that. It also has to do with the idea that we really don't need food. And that's also another topic. And some people don't want to hear that. When I tell some people that they can actually do without food, they don't have to eat. Some people are actually practicing that right now. I had gotten to the point where I was eating, and I still do, actually. Right now, I'm still eating one meal a day. However, I am struggling, having some issues with having a sweet tooth, which is funny because it's something that I never used to have an issue with. And so I'm eating a lot of fruits, and I probably shouldn't, instead of eating other stuff. So, and I'm staying away from a lot of things. Anyway, you'll start to notice that you become have certain food intolerance, and that's something else that, and you may just think that your body's changing, and it is changing in a sense, because once you start to become once you start to become spiritual and you become awake, and your body's tapping on you and go, well, you're not supposed to be eating that. Some of you who are conscious of it will realize, wait a minute, I'm supposed to stay away from that. Your body's talking to you. So you have to pay attention to what your body wants, and you're going to start having a reaction to certain foods. We really need to stay away from a lot of the processed foods and start, eating natural foods. And that's also another story too to boil down, because there's so much stuff going on as what's natural, what's not, what's really giving us energy. But I can tell you something, and I'll hit on this in another video, and I'm really getting over. I have my dogs, and they have their pit bull mix. If you see them, they look like pit bull boxer type. And they had skin issues. Pit bulls are known to have some skin issues. And I've been going through this for years with them, with their skin issues, trying all kinds of natural remedies and all kind of shampoos and stuff, and it was just nothing. Now, when I was younger, I was feeding them natural food, meats, cooked meats and stuff like that. And then I had mixed it up with some cornmeal type thing, like what we used to feed them in the islands. And then once we had 2020, I had to go back to feeding them dog food, because, so I'm trying to make this really, so anyway, finally I said, you know what, to heck with it. I'm just going to feed them natural food. So I mixed a little bit of raw meat in there, and I mixed some cooked chicken, some veggies, and some kale, and I mixed that all up, and oh my God, my dogs now have no problem with their skin whatsoever. Their skin, their hair is growing back. It's nice and shiny. My neighbor has been complimenting me how beautiful their coat is. My oldest dog, which is the mother of all of these dogs, was having patches of her hair, because she's getting older, starting to she was starting to have missing hair, but it wasn't from the bad skin. She was, it was just missing. And, of course, she was overweight. And so her hair totally grew back. Her hair totally grew back. She had a lump, which she still does a little bit, but it shrunk. And I mean, just so much wonderful thing. And I'm just thinking, that's what happened when you're eating the right food that is for you. We as humans, the same thing. If we start eating the food that are meant for us to eat, a lot of things will change. Anyway, there's so much more I can talk about on this, but I hope I covered enough to plant some seeds. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for joining. Please join me again. I don't know what the next topic is going to be like. I want to say but just join in. Sometimes I actually have a list, and then I go by how I feel like the spirits move me to talk about, because I always go, God, what am I talking about? Tell me, give me a topic. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Please give me some support just by liking and sharing, and just let me know that you're out there and that you're enjoying what I'm sharing and that you're benefiting from it. And okay, so love and peace. Thank you. And okay.